Hi, my name is Ariel from the Children of Karma, and today we're going to discuss Pluto in aspect to the North Node. This can be a past life dealing with evil and repressing darker, painful memories of possible abuse as well. And the key in this aspect is to find a form of healing, find a form of therapy that can help. It's important to know that it's not in your head, that you are dealing with this pain, and it's important to find the right kind of therapy that can help you to release those memories that you may be repressing and escaping from. This aspect can deal with things like sickness and divorce, and you can choose to escape from them rather than trying to confront the issues and heal from them. We don't have the proper guidance at first to move into our North Node, so we may be dealing with transmitting this energy to other people and not being able to manage those emotions properly, choosing to escape from them as well. With Pluto, we need to take the responsibility, even though we didn't cause what occurred to us, but we need to take the responsibility in order to bring these memories to light, in order for them to have some sort of healing. Usually just bringing them into our awareness and knowing that they exist is halfway there, because once it's in our awareness, after a few times, we'll work on changing it. This aspect is uninterested in forming any sort of superficial connections. They need to focus on their purpose. By focusing on this purpose, you'll distract yourself from the other distractions that you shouldn't be getting involved with, the darker parts of life that can lead to obsessions and addictions. This purpose will keep you centered. My father had this aspect, and he had this aspect in conjunction in the 12th house. So that also brings in some Neptune energy as well, some Pisces energy. And he did prove that he had the ability to transmute these behaviors. He used to, for example, smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. It was very, very bad. In elementary school, my clothing would smell like cigarettes because I was always around him. He smoked in the house, and he was forced to quit smoking because of medical issues. And it didn't seem to be very difficult for him, or he didn't express any sort of difficulty. He left 7 emergency cigarettes in his vehicle, in his truck. And when he died, those cigarettes were still there. So it was interesting to see that he had such strong willpower when it came to this one thing. And he essentially leaned into other things like food, for example, alcohol, It's hard to confront those truths. They're of the nature of Pluto, so they're taboo, and society won't like them. How are you supposed to bring them to light and not be shamed for it? And the biggest critic is yourself, especially in the 12th house here. And he also just couldn't manage those emotions properly. And if I think about it, in his chart, his nodes square the sun, and anything that squares the nodes is like a skipped step. So it's like something you need in your life to complete your mission. And his sun squares his nodes, meaning his mission just did not align with that. His ego, his identity, his purpose. And looking further back into my father's mother, she had this aspect as well, but she had the North Node and Pluto in a trine aspect. And sometimes trines can go wrong. We can take advantage. For example, you know, she definitely knew how to manipulate and wheel and deal also as well. With her time in the sex industry or the drug world, you know, she picked up a few things, I'm sure. Square to her nodes would be Jupiter. Could be morality, education. Could be that she just was a bad egg. And, you know, I always had this feeling that something had occurred in that home when my father was a child. It just, and the parents were just too young. You know, I mean, what can you do? I believe she was 21 years old when my father was born, and my father was the 5th child. And I think the first child, I mean, must have come in at 15, 14 or something like this. And what kind of life can you have? It's just all around very disappointing, but it's important to bring these issues to light, you know, let's not repeat them. I think, for example, with the domestic violence memory that I have, it was this big monster in my mind for many, many years, you know, since it had occurred. It was a huge monster in the back of my mind, and you continue to build this thing up, and you realize, though, once you face it, it was just a little small, it was like a little bunny rabbit. It was nothing to fear. It was nothing to fear. My mind was creating it into this something that I couldn't manage, but it can be managed. It can, because we don't have to deal with it all at once. We can always just release it slowly, extended release, you know, like an onion. Let's handle it with time. And certain things we can put on the shelf and go back to when you feel a little stronger. It was very difficult for him to manage this, and I'm sure it was difficult for his mother as well. And luckily I have the sextile. It is difficult. I mean, you have to work at the sextile as well, but you can gain a lot of insight if you do pursue this information and you release it and you really learn from it. You can grow, and you can release the suffering of the past. You know, in a way, I do feel like I'm clearing out not only my psychological suitcase, but also theirs. And it feels good. It really does. It feels good, like spring cleaning on a whole different level. Thank you for joining me for this video, guys. I'd love to see you at thechildrenofkarma.com. We can unlock all your ancestral patterns and see what you're carrying from generation to generation and how we can better manage them using the aspects in our charts. And a bunch of other astrological services there as well as coaching services too, to manage these difficult aspects. So I'd love to see you there, and don't forget to like the video. Bye.